Okay. External economies of scale and external diseconomies of scale. So I'll be starting with the external economies or diseconomies of scale. These are those economies or diseconomies of scale which are external, which are not because of the firm, which are because of the industry. Okay. So this industry gives us some factors which make the average cost of production lower to some extent. As you can see, this is the long run average cost curve, LRAC, long run average cost. This is number one. This is the first curve. It has gone down to the second curve, LRAC. It has gone down to the next curve, which is drawn below it. This is termed as external economies of scale. Whenever there are external economies of scale, you can see that this is being represented by a shift. This economy of scale, what will happen? It will go up. So the curve, which is long run average cost, the first or the original point is below and the new point is above it. Long run average cost curve 1. First, we'll discuss the internal economy of scale so that you can have an idea that what are internal economy of scale. Then you will get an idea about what are external economy of scale. Internal economy of scale means those factors which are generated within by the business, which help the business lower its cost of production. The first one is buying economy. Sometimes we call it as purchasing economy. Sometimes uh, we call it as procurement economy. Sometimes in some books. So these buying economies are termed as, let's suppose if you are buying something from a market, from a vendor. So if you are buying something from a vendor, so that vendor would bargain with you. The vendor would bargain with you. But if it is a single item, maybe you are purchasing something individually. Maybe you are purchasing a pen from the shopkeeper. If a pen cost around $15, let's suppose, so the shopkeeper will not bargain with you in that case because you are only purchasing one single item in that case. So if you increase your order to the whole box, the packet or the box of that pens, maybe that box contains 10 pens inside that. If you say to the shopkeeper, now I want to purchase this whole box, what will be the price of this? The shopkeeper will always say that per pen cost you 15 rupees, $15, sorry, if you consume it individually. But now as you're consuming it as a box, so I'll give you a discount of 5 rupees, $5 per pen. So the whole box will be around $100 to you. So this is termed as buying economies, which means when you buy in bulk quantities, your average cost of production decreases. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any
So
questions?
it will decrease, right?
Yes, correct. Because when you see, there is a theory which you will not learn over here, but with the passage of time, when you will grow, when you go for A levels and other things, so you will get to know there is a theory which is termed as Porter's 5 forces. Porter is a person, Michael Porter, who has developed a theory which is Porter's 5 forces. In that 5 forces, he is talking about the bargaining power of customer. The bargaining power of customer is saying, Porter is saying, but the Michael Porter, that writer is not included in O levels, but still I'm giving an additional information to you. He is saying that when the order is increased in terms of quantity, the bargaining power of the customer increases. Why? Because now the customer is purchasing in a bulk. So the bargaining power of customer increases and the bargaining power of ultimately the supplier decreases in that case. And this is vice versa. If you purchase a single item, the bargaining power of customer is low, whereas the bargaining power of supplier is high in that case. Got this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the second one is selling economies. This is done by a lot of businesses, even in Pakistan and in everywhere I've observed this. This is being done. Selling economies means your transportation cost, which is the major cost, which is saved. As I guess in the last or second last class, I gave you an example of this. In my vicinity, if a shop is being operated, if a new shop is being opened up, okay, so there are distributors of the companies. Distributor means the one who sells the product of the companies. They come with their vans and they ask the shopkeeper, sir, do you want to have our product? This is a new product or this is the old product. Do you want this? We have come to supply other shops. Are you interested in buying from us? So the shopkeeper tells them, yes, okay, give me 50 packets of this. So the distributor comes to you, you purchase 50 packets from them, let's suppose, of any product. So the distributor has placed 100 units of that product in its one vehicle, which would cost almost, let's suppose, 500 rupees for the journey. So that 500 rupees will be distributed on the 100 products they are delivering. If they would be delivering individual products, the transportation cost would be higher in that case. Correct?
Oh, so sir, you're saying if they buy in bulk,
Mhm.
then the transportation cost won't be that much, right?
Yes, correct. They are also distributing in bulk. Same case. They are also distributing in the same case. As it is saying, selling economies. If a customer is placing, if a customer, let's suppose there is one customer which is living in, there are 5 customers living in Karachi. Okay. So if I'm selling those 5 customers in one go, that means one of the vehicles is being launched for those customers. So my transportation cost will be saved rather than every other vehicle for every other customer in comparison to that. If an order is of 1 lakh products and my transportation cost is, let's suppose, 1,000 rupees, so that 1,000 rupees will be distributed over the 1 lakh product, which will mean that per unit transportation cost will be very minor, very low for the customer and for the business both. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Again, the selling economies again means there are advertising costs. Advertising costs will also be reduced in that case if an advertisement is being launched by the company. Okay. So the company is launching an advertisement and there are 2 lakh products being sold and the cost of the advertisement is 50,000. So again, the per unit cost of advertisement will be lower for the company, because of that advertisement, more of the products are being sold in the market. So this is termed as marketing economies. A bigger brand would sell more, and again, because of selling more, the advertising cost per unit of that product will be lower in that case. These all economies of scale are related to the average cost. It could be average cost of sales, average cost of purchasing, average cost of marketing. Got it?
No, sir, I'm not getting it.
Okay, see, if there are 1 lakh products which are being sold after advertising on the television, okay, so the per unit cost, maybe you spend 50,000 rupees on advertisement, so 50,000 rupees of cost divided by 1 lakh units, so the cost would be 0.5 something. Correct?
Yes.
So $0.5 per product, this is a minor cost, a low cost, as you have sold more products. So this is termed as marketing economies. Because of
Okay.
being big in size, you saved your marketing cost because you sold more. Now the marketing cost would not affect you in any case. Why? Because you sold more of the products in the market. So the marketing cost was minimal to you, or minimum value was to was
But
for
sir,
you.
one thing I don't understand, sir. So this only happens, all of these economies of scale only happens when the business increases, right?
This majorly increase happens with those businesses which are big businesses, not with the small ones.
But sir, see, small businesses can also have the advantages of selling economies, right?
No, that is next to impossible. Why? I'll give you the reason for that. The reason is that a small business will always produce on a smaller scale. So that business cannot supply to, let's suppose, higher orders. Maybe a person, a customer is asking for 10,000 units, and I'm only producing 1,000 as a small business. So how can I supply 10,000 units to that customer? Got it?
Okay.
Your production should be on a vast scale in order to have these economies of scale. If your production is lower, then again it will be a problem for you. Okay, so that's why these happen to big businesses. Next
Okay.
is managerial economies. Again, managerial economies, it's very easy. Those big businesses or those prestigious businesses, they are reputable in their names. They can afford specialist managers. In return, those specialist managers help the business grow more. So this is termed as managerial economies. In comparison to this, small businesses could not afford specialist managers. Why? Because specialist managers demand a good amount of salary. Why they demand good amount of salary? Because they're skilled, they are experienced, they have good qualification. All of the reasons come from the chapter workers. Okay.
Okay.
So now we have labor economies. A big business, it is very easy to distribute its labor according to the division of labor. Why? The
If
reason
there
is,
is no capital, then
sorry.
What if the business has less labor but more capital?
So that in that case will not include this point, because obviously it will not be relevant to the business.
Okay.
Okay. Financial economies, big businesses have a lot of areas or a lot of places from where they can borrow, from where they can get the investment, from where they can have the loans. Even banks are very are ready to pay them the loans or give them the loans. Why? The reason is that again banks know it very well that it is not risky to give loans to this business. Technical economy of scale, again, technical things could be hired, which includes machineries. Even if I give an example of Cambridge Garments, I have observed this thing in the Cambridge Garments company, which is there for garments in Pakistan, in Karachi especially. So what they do, they have hired specialist machineries for them. But if I compare this with a tailor who's working in a local area, the tailor would not have these much of facilities. Why? Because he is a small business or maybe a small shop. So this is how big businesses have technical economy of scale, but a small business could not have these. Research and development economies, again, iPhone, Apple would be the best example for that. Research and development. Today, when we are using iPhone 13 at this time, they are trying its level best to invent the next version of that. Why? Because they know this thing that the world needs something new, needs some more convenience, something better, something extra, something new in the next cell phone, which should be placed so that people should have the loyalty of iPhone. Again, people should not go away from this cell phone. So they would be doing some research and development. They would have a team and everything. Creative department is there. Every year there are some unique or new inventions in the iPhone. That's the main reason people purchase it. So again, that can only be afforded by the big business, a reputation business. Risk bearing economies, again, risk bearing economies are with those businesses which have more than one products in more than one industry. As we can talk about, many of the companies are diversified. I can tell you an example of Samsung. In Pakistan, Samsung is selling cell phones, Samsung is selling refrigerators, Samsung is selling laptops, Samsung is selling what I can say of LED TVs. So they have a lot of worth of market. They are selling washing machines, they are selling air conditioners. So 7 products I've almost told you about Samsung. So if Samsung is incurring a loss in maybe laptops, so it would be compensated by the air conditioner sale. It could be compensated by the sale of washing machines. It could be compensated by the sale of LED televisions, which are there. So this is termed as risk-bearing economies, where if one of the products goes in loss, it will be compensated by the other product of that company.
So you're saying if the Samsung's laptop revenue falls,
Hmm.
then it will be compensated by the profit of another product that Samsung is selling.
Yes, if Samsung's profit from laptops fall, so then it will be compensated by the profit from any other product. In actual or overall, the company would not have a loss in that case. Okay. Okay. Next is diseconomy of scale. I've already told you diseconomy of scale means those factors which increase the cost of production, average cost of production of the company, and they are inside the company because they are internal in diseconomy of scale.
So that's
Difficulty,
bad, right?
that's bad for the business. Yes. Difficulties controlling the firm, maybe some of the times what they do, they write it down employee motivation, they write it down the decreased morale of the employees. Okay, so difficulties controlling the business means controlling the area of the business or controlling businesses in different areas. It's very difficult. Why? Because the business is spread on a vast area. There are a lot of managers. If I talk about Samsung would still have some diseconomy of scale. Why? Because the company is widespread. It has a lot of a lot of products in Pakistan. It has a lot of products in America, UK. A lot of countries purchase from Samsung, and that is the biggest brand, second biggest brand in Pakistan for cell phones. Okay, so what they are doing, they have difficulties again. So this would increase the cost of their products. Again, more of the cost would be given to management. Mistakes would be done in managing the product. Maybe the launch of the product is delayed. maybe the advertisement is not up to the mark.
But sir, I don't understand. If they can just hire more labor, then there won't be any such difficulties. If, for example, if you're saying that the launch of the product is delayed, then they can have more laborers to work in that particular sector so that it's not delayed.
No,
So how is this disadvantage?
I'm giving this point in that regard, that keeping an eye on every employee, it becomes very difficult. Maybe if you put a manager over all the laborers, okay. So if you put a manager over all the workers, so again having the meetings with the worker means you cannot devote yourself, you cannot give attention to the other area of the business. Maybe you are having meeting for the production side, so give you cannot have a meeting with the marketing team because time is limited in that case. So this gives you a diseconomy of scale in that case, because controlling becomes difficult. Even if you hire a manager, you have to have a meeting with the manager to get an update of that. So somehow there will be lackings. There will be some problems in that case. So this is termed as diseconomy. Maybe Samsung could have produced 15,000 units in a year, but maybe they might be producing 10,000. And Samsung
Right.
might be thinking that this is the best we can do. Maybe they could stretch themselves more than this. Okay, so these are diseconomy of skill. The second one is communication problem. This also creates demotivation in the employees. Why? Because every employee wants to interact with the manager of the business, with the owner of the business. If the owner could not interact with every employee, the employee would feel demotivated because that employee doesn't feel important enough for the company. Okay, so again, communication problem gives rise to demotivation of the employee. And last is poor industrial action. I hope you know what are industrial actions. We have learned in trade unions.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so poor industrial action means strikes, and these things would
Yeah,
also
yeah.
pose a diseconomy of skill. External diseconomy of skill. A skilled labor force would be economy of skill. That those labor force which is being trained by the market leader of the company. Maybe Samsung has trained some of the workers, and now I know that these are the best resources present in the economy. So what I can do, I can hire them very easily, but they were trained by Samsung. I am a new company. What I'll do, I'll give them more amount, more money to attract them, and they will be hired to me, and I will be producing better products because of Samsung. So this is termed as external economies of scale. This benefit is being done by Samsung to me, my competitor. Why? Because they were trained by Samsung in that case. This is why we are saying external economies of scale. Got this point?
So, sir, it's when one company is combining or forming terms with another firm.
No, 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 no. When because of another company, one company is getting the benefit. Because of the industry, that company is getting the benefit, a lower average cost of production. Got it?
So, well, is that possible? Like, won't there be any patent issues or anything?
No, no. There are certain areas where we can do this. Let me give an example of that. Maybe I have a street light. One of my neighbors, they have given some amount, they've given some money, and they have installed some street lights. My laborers, I'm not talking about the government, my laborers, my neighbors who are living uh, near to me. What they have done, they have contributed some amount and they have installed some of the street lights. If because of that street light, my business is visible to everyone, because my business is near to that street light, so that would be external economies of scale. Why? Because
Oh, it's
I
like,
did not do anything. My neighbor did everything. So this is the same case with external economy of scale.
so it's like external benefit also. If someone takes the vaccine, then others also benefit.
Yes, but again, we cannot say it's external benefit because that is not for the company. External benefit is for a person, for an individual. Okay. So in this case, we'll also say external economy of scale. Skilled labor force, which has been trained by other businesses, will also be available to me in the industry. Correct. So this is the first point. Good reputation. There are some businesses which are located in some areas of Karachi. They have got good reputation. Maybe if I talk about Alamgir Road, Bahadurabad of Karachi, there's a road which is near Bahadurabad, which is Alamgir Road. That road is very much famous. Why that is famous? Because of Alamgir Trust. Okay, so that trust has given some reputation to that road. So that road has become prestigious. Tariq Road, Dolmen Mall, these things are famous. So Dolman Mall, when it has come to Tariq Road, again it has given some worth to that area. So good reputation will be an external economy. Every other person says that Tariq Road is a good place to shop. Clifton is a good place to shop. Clifton is a good place to eat. Why? Because of good reputation. So any new business which comes in that area would get external economies of scale of being good reputation. Okay.
Okay.
Specialist suppliers of raw materials and capital goods. When you are entering an industry, maybe you might be getting some specialist suppliers. If you go to Korangi area of Karachi, we have Korangi industrial area. If you locate yourself over there, there are a lot of companies which are specialists in many of the things. So you get the specialist services from them near to your business, near to your company. Okay. So because of that, the transportation charges decreases, and again you get the best services in your area. Specialist services, if you have opened a stationery shop which is too big, which has been put, you have put a lot of capital in that. So specialist services, you will get the services because more of the customers, more of the students would come to you, and those students would be near to your shop. Okay, so that will be specialist services. You will be providing them in that particular market. The stationery is always purchased by those who are going to universities, schools and colleges. Specialist
Okay.
markets, maybe you would be in a specialist market. You are purchasing, you in an area where you are situated, where you are there. So you would have the biggest supplier of stationery to, who would be supplying the stationery to you only, because he's a wholesaler. He will not be selling the stationery to the individual customer. So if that business is near to my business, so what will happen? Again, my transportation cost will be saved in that case. This happens a lot in Urdu Bazaar of Karachi, where all of the businesses are situated, all of the shops are near to them, and again, whenever a book has to be purchased by any shopkeeper, there is no transportation cost at all. Okay. And the last is improved infrastructure. Clifton Defense would be the best example for that. They have the best improved infrastructure. Why they have these facilities? Again, they have the board, cantonment board, which supports them, Clifton board, which supports them, and they, with all the residents of Clifton, they pay the fees or the charges to the Clifton board. And again, in the end, what they get? They get the services. So the improved infrastructure would encourage all of the customers to go over there. If I talk about Clifton, I go a lot of places. Why? Because of the improved infrastructure. The roads and these things are very good over there, so that I can commute very easily in that case.
Okay.
And the external diseconomies of scale would be, maybe you are situated, maybe the business who is giving you the raw materials is situated out of the city. So again, increase transportation in that case. Okay. Maybe your business area or where you are located is a high traffic area. Maybe there are a lot of universities over there. Because of more traffic, because of high traffic, what will happen? High congestion, and more of the people will avoid that road. Okay. So these are external diseconomy skill, because there is no negative point of yours. You are suffering just because of the problem of other
But
business.
can if one firm grows too large, they can monopolize another firm. So shouldn't that also be a diseconomy?
Correct. Come again. What did you say?
If one firm grows too large, they can have the whole what do you say, whole control over that industry. So they can monopolize all the other firms.
Yes,
So
they can.
won't that be a diseconomy also?
This would not be a diseconomy scale. The reason is that, again, if you have grown big, so it would be a market failure in that case. This economy of
Market
scale means,
failure.
yes, this economy of scale means when there are certain factors which are present in a business which increase their average cost of production. Maybe if that monopoly firm is not producing in an efficient way, then it would be a diseconomy of scale. But if they are producing efficiently, good, in a better manner, so it would not be a diseconomy of scale.
But so if they grow big, that means they have been producing goods
There
efficiently,
would
right?
be chances. There would be chances in that case. We need to see that whether the morale of the workers, the communication problems, the handling issues, are they good? If they are not good, again, diseconomy of scale. But if they are good, we cannot say that. We need to see the graph of the average cost of production. Okay, as I've told you, the graph of the average cost of production shows that your average cost of production can go till a point over here. If you've gone till here, but again your costs have started increasing, so we can say that you have experienced this economies of scale, whether you are a monopoly, whether you are an individual business in that case. Got
Okay.
it?
Yes, sir.